Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something.
There was an inaccuracy as it regards Monique saying that there was a cease and desist.
Monique's a liar.
There was a level of harshness in his return that seemed a little bit exaggerated for the moment.
She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her.
Welcome back to Keep It Real Reality. It's your man Will Win once again. Today, I'm talking about Monique and DL Hughley. You know, if you're not familiar with the story, you know, Monique went on Shannon Sharpe. She said some things. She did the Cat Williams version too. Female Lion Way. You know, she did her own version. And at the end of it, she even said, hey, look, check it. I'm Cat Williams' twin. So they got, you know, a lot of unveiling going on lately here in 2024 early. You know, just February, lots going on. It's a lot of straightening going on. They got Monique's husband as, of course. He up in the mix too. So you know how that go. But hey, we gonna unpack a lot of it right here and keep it real reality. Check.
It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a waist set. And so Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she says she got off. She called me.
It wasn't about the game, as you're gonna later hear Monique explain. It wasn't about the game that got her mad. What it was the question. See, if you're not familiar, they played a game Monique went on DL Hughley's show. DL Hughley wasn't there. His co-host or somebody was there, some female. She was there, and they were playing a game with Monique. And the female or the co-host, she was like, okay, she asked Monique, how would you feel or would you rather your husband have sex with some woman without a condom, supposed to be an unsafe woman to have sex with, or sleep with some man? And of course, the man she named was supposed to be gay. And Monique, you know, said, she was like, hey, hold on. Now okay, I know we playing, but we kid and joke, but we don't play with grown folks. You know what I'm saying? So Monique reached out to DL Hughley, and she said she didn't like the response that DL Hughley came back with her. She felt like he just brushed it off. Like, oh, whatever. But DL, he's gonna explain, he's like, hey man, look, I gave Monique the perfect opportunity to tell me what she was. I understood what she was standing on it, and I didn't play the segment. But she just won't leave it alone. But check.
Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints, I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who as a comedian talks as much shit about everybody else as she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people. Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that because Monique is a fucking liar. She's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking shit about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says DL Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story. But what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife.
Hey, and I understand, man. Not saying I'm choosing either side for real, because I'm not really. We just impacting it and keep it real reality at the same time. You dig what I'm saying? Now I understand, okay, people have arguments, people don't get along. But once you take your dirt to the street, that's not the move. Especially if you're doing it with a person that you were supposed to be cool with. I want to understand what's the point of the exposure to everybody else. Because I'm just saying, even though we talking about it, hey, it really wasn't our business until Monique made it our business. Once she made it all business, then it became all business. You know what I'm saying? If she wouldn't have said so, I think her handling it in a different way by not saying anything to us about it, it probably would have helped her situation with being blackballed. But I think by the extras with it, it made a lot of people not deal with you because people gonna be like, "Hey, man, I don't want to deal with you because if I deal with you, you the type of person that's gonna, put me out there. You the type of person that I can't confide in. And if people got sense, they gonna understand that at any time, anything can happen.
This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested, and Monique brought that shit out and told the world
But you just brought it out too, man.
that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying motherfucker. She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her. It's interesting. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody fucks with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't fuck with you? How do you love us for real when there's no
And you see what he does. The exact same thing that he said bother him. So does that make it right? You know? And you're supposed to be standing as the bigger person. I don't see how. Because she talked about it, she was dead ass wrong to even say anything about your daughter or DL Hughley's daughter being in any kind of sexual situation is dead ass wrong. But this mess has gotten a lot messy.
evidence of anybody loving you for real, except your daddy, who you apparently have to pay. And FYI, daughters are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? Telling jokes. Monique, if she'd have spent as much time actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash. It got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history, because that's what Monique does. She complains and she has grievances. You never see her being a human being. You never see her being sweet and warm to people, except when she's using it to butter somebody up to get something. There's a reason why everywhere she goes, shit starts. Everywhere she goes. How is it that nobody fucks with you, not even your family? How do you, well, I was on the road getting it. I get it every goddamn week. Look at my
He's in no position to make that judgment because you don't know the situation. Family situations, that's why I say you're going over the board because you don't know the situation. He's only assuming, unless he do. Now, if he does know, then that's just something because you're not going to speak on the details, so you shouldn't be speaking on it, period. You know what I mean? Leave the children and all that up out of it. You know what I mean? Real talk. If that's when things get personal and but then that's probably why he's doing it because he's feeling like she did that to him. But to go back at her like that, I mean, publicly, I can understand if he was talking to her face to face, but to go back at her publicly, come on, man.
schedule versus yours. See how much I'm going. And I still manage to have a relationship that I cherish with my children. Can you say the same? You can't. Because all you do is talk about your grievances and who did you wrong. There's a reason you're by yourself. There's a reason you got to pay a man to love you. It's sad. There's an
Hey,
old adage that says you can't buy love. It's a shame, Monique, that you probably always will have to.
We wanted to address first and foremost.
now Monique and her husband, this video is when her husband and herself, when Monique's husband and herself sat down and they were discussing what DL just said. You understand? Check.
Our brother, D.L. Hughley. So we got to start off by saying there was an inaccuracy as it regards Monique saying that there was a cease and desist that was given to DL to shut it down. What had taken place, to be accurate, was after Monique spoke to Brother DL on that conversation, Brother DL said, what?
Well,
Basically, what Brother Monique husband is saying is basically this. He's saying that when Monique spoke on another video that I'll show, she was explaining that what DL said was inaccurate, what he just spoken of when he said that he didn't put the video that offended her up. So DL's stance was, hey, look, why are you tripping, Monique? I didn't even put the video out. If I didn't give a damn, I would have put the video out. That's what DL was saying. And then Monique came back in another video and she was saying, hey, that's not true. The reason why you didn't put it out is because my lawyer sent you a cease and desist order. Now Monique's husband is now coming back saying, hey, he's standing on the truth. I give him that for real, which is honorable. He's saying, hey, look, what she said was wrong. That's not what happened, but this is what happened. But okay, here you go.
After we spoke on that conversation, when we hung up that phone, the last thing he said was, it is what it is. And I said, DL, then we're going to have to get our attorney involved. That's the last thing me and DL Hughley said on that conversation.
And after having that conversation with Monique, we went and got our attorney involved, Attorney Anderson. At the time, there were some emails that were transferred back and forth between his side and our side, and it escalated to a point when we had our attorney on the email, whereby then finally DL said that he would scratch the interview.
Yes.
So it was inaccurate that a cease and desist had to be given. There was a level of harshness in his return that seemed a little bit exaggerated for the moment. And we wanted to make it clear, and I think Monique can do it best when she speaks in reference to what she meant while talking about DL in the past.
You know, when I watched DL say, she went after my wife, she went after my daughters,